All right, here comes Elton. All right, let's see where we are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The timing works every time. Hey everyone, it's Kenji. Today I'm going to be making a grilled cheese with chorizo. So this is if you've watched my channel at all, you have probably seen a video I made about 7 years ago with the head cam on, totally silent, where, well, other than the noises of cooking, where I made a grilled cheese sandwich with chorizo. It's my most popular video, it has like 15 million views, and that's actually the video that made me I made that video once. I was coming home from a vacation in Mexico where I had done some snorkeling, and I had borrowed my sister's GoPro, and as I was making that sandwich, I was like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I put on this GoPro while I cook shoot a cooking video, or while I cook a sandwich for myself. And so I did that, and I put it up on my channel. I didn't really think about it, and then like a couple years later, I looked at the numbers on my channel. I was like, who's watching this? What are people watching? And it turns out people are watching me cook a grilled cheese with a GoPro on my head. And so that's why I started doing a lot of these sort of GoPro videos. Anyhow, I decided I'm gonna talk through that sandwich a little bit to explain some of the things I did in it, because I never really gave the recipe or explained why I was doing anything. All right, so starting with sourdough bread. This is from Seawolf Bakery, local here in Seattle. At the time, I made that I made that sandwich on bread from Backhaus, which is the bakery in San Mateo and Burlingame that I'm actually a partner at. That's where this shirt comes from. But anyhow, sourdough bread. We're gonna do some sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm gonna grate it. The reason I'm grating it, normally I would do slices of cheese, but in this case, I'm grating it because we're gonna add a couple of things to the cheese to flavor it. So this is a couple ounces sharp cheddar cheese. Then in the freezer, I've got this stick of Spanish chorizo. You could do pepperoni, you can do chorizo, you could do sopressata, any kind of sort of salami like that. The key is you freeze it and then you grate it. In that video, a lot of people commented, oh, that chorizo is not gonna cook inside that sandwich. That is true. However, it's not an issue because we're using Spanish chorizo, which is a dry, raw chorizo that is intended to be eaten raw, the same way a salami or a pepperoni is. All right, so we grate the chorizo on the box grater. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of cilantro. Give that a rough chop. And we're gonna toss that all together. And that is the filling for the sandwich. It's probably the filling for 2 sandwiches, actually. So one of the issues with using sourdough, and this is something that I've sort of changed since making the sandwich that time, is that with a cheese like cheddar cheese that sort of tends to break as it cooks, in a grilled cheese, especially with a sourdough that has like this real big hole structure, the cheese can almost like soak into the bread, and so you end up with not much cheese left over in the middle of the sandwich. So what I like to do in this case is use a protective layer of a cheese that is sort of a gooier melting cheese as opposed to a cheese that breaks. So this is a protective sheet of provolone that goes just over the center of the sandwich. You can use provolone to protect a lot of things. Prophylactic? A prophylactic. All right, a good amount of cheese on there. We're gonna put some butter on our griddle. Last time I made this, I did it on a baking steel on my stove, which you can do, of course. I'm just doing this on this griddle here because it's easier to get in front of the camera. Well, also this is a really nice griddle. But all right, so relatively low heat, and then we're gonna trowel it. So not too much pressure, just enough to keep it nice and flat on there. This is a mortaring trowel, which I find to be a real good tool for pressing sandwiches because it's not too heavy, it doesn't squish things down too much, but it keeps things flat. So the real key with a grilled cheese is that you want to give it enough time. You want to basically time it so that the outside of it is going to get nice and golden brown just as the inside melts. What you don't want to do is what a certain shouty British chef did, which is cook a grilled cheese over way too high heat so that you end up with bread that's kind of burnt on the outside and cheese that's completely unmelted in the middle. The timing, I find the best timing for a grilled cheese is if you start the Elton John and George Michael version of Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and then you flip it just as George Michael comes in. That's about the right timing for a grilled cheese. So, hey Siri, play "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me" by Elton John and George Michael. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. I forgot my other secret ingredient. So this is something I've started doing only recently. My partner Tessa, her dad makes grilled cheese sandwiches with cheddar and honey. It's not enough honey that it tastes like really honey-ish, but it's something that kind of complements the flavor of the cheddar really nicely. It gives it just a little hint, a touch of honey, a little hint of sweetness. All right. There we go. This is a local creamed honey from the Sunny Honey Company, which is here in Seattle. Creamed honey is really nice, especially for spreading on bread. All right, we'll be back when this is ready to flip. All right, here comes Elton. All right, let's see where we are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The timing works every time. All right. Let's do this quick before we get demonetized. A little more butter. And the other side of the sandwich. Now, by the time the song is done, the sandwich will be perfect. So we'll be back when Elton and George are done. All right. That's the end of the song. That means our grilled cheese should be done if the timing is right, which it always is. Hey Siri, pause. And look at that. All right, let's cut into it. Oh wait, I know last time I did hot sauce. The hot sauce I used, I think last time I had I had two different sauces. I had Secret Aardvark, which is a hot sauce from Portland. You can get it in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if you can get it like east of the Rockies or where you can get it, but it's I'm certain you can order it online. Secret Aardvark is like a mustard-based hot sauce. The other hot sauce I used is this one, which is Inner Beauty. This was, if you've ever been to the East Coast Grill in Somerville, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, Chris Schlesinger, who was the chef there for a long time, this was his hot sauce recipe. He wrote it down on like a napkin. It's got mustard, it's got mangoes, it's got a bunch of different flavors in there. He wrote it down on a napkin, which is now like framed and up on the wall there. This was the hot sauce that they served there. My dad had a bottle of this when I was a kid. We always had Inner Beauty hot sauce in the fridge. It went out of production for a long time, and then it was recently bought by, or maybe like 5 or 7 years ago, bought by someone named Todd, who does Todd's salsa. So now it's called Todd's Inner Beauty, but it's the same sauce, same recipe. And the best way to eat it is dipping direct off the cutting board. All right. If you want to get a real good cheese pull, you squeeze your sandwich like toothpaste, you know? And you do a... All right. It's as good as it was 7 years ago. And the answer is yes, it does cut up the roof of your mouth, like eating Captain Crunch. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, chorizo grilled cheese. The key to this is grating frozen chorizo. You can also use pepperoni in with your cheese, so you get that flavor in there, and then timing it to the Elton John and George Michael version of "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me." Also using a trowel to hold down your sandwich, which is a technique I discovered through trial and error. All right, see you later. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can find the full article and recipe along with bonus content and my newsletter for free on my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this, or my alternate channel, Kenji Lopez Main, for my dining content. And follow me on Instagram at Kenji Lopez-Alt for daily updates. You can also get signed and personalized copies of any of my books. That's The Food Lab, The Walk, or my children's book, Every Night is Pizza Night, shipped from Book Larder here in Seattle. Find the links to all of this, as well as all of the tools I used in today's video, in the description below. Thanks.